This is the biggest bargain of discontinued watches out there. I'll tell you why in this video, and I'll finish off with my weekly reviewers column as well as some comparison footage with the latest Seamaster 300. Let's go. The Omega Seamaster 300 2541 started its production at the same time Pierce Brosnan and the Goldeneye squad started theirs, circa 1993. Its production run stretched all the way to 2006 before it got replaced at the same time Pierce Brosnan did. The quartz version was only used in Goldeneye in 1995 before being replaced by the automatic version 2531. For the remainder of Brosnan's movies as Agent 007. The 2541 is also seen on Rogue Agent 006, Alex Trevelyan, played by Sean Bean. Before I tell you about my experience and feelings about it, I'll go through the dimensions of the watch. The case is a 41mm diameter case finished with attractive curved lugs as well as nicely executed crown guards and an iconic, or unnecessary, depending on the eyes that sees, helium escape valve. The bezel insert is manufactured in aluminium, making it more prone to scratches but less likely to fracture in the event of a hard blow. In contrast to ceramic bezels, aluminium will age. The colour will fade over time and give the watch its own uniqueness. The indexes are painted on, unlike the Seamasters that started its run alongside Daniel Craig, the 22-20-80. The early 2541 models, produced from 93 to 95, utilised tritium lume. As you can tell by the yellow tone or fried egg design, the indexes gain as time takes its toll. The dial carries the iconic wave design, which to some might seem a bit much, but I promise you it's not. The waves are toned down but plays with the light in certain angles and lighting, as does the hands. The bezel action is surprisingly good and might I say better than the newer models, which I feel give a quite hollow impression. The case is only 11.26mm thick and 46.64mm lug to lug, making it fairly compact for a 41mm watch. The lug width is of course 20mm. The bracelet is one of those hate it or love it things. Unlike the newer models, the end links on the 2541 protrude a bit from the lugs, but they curve down, making the watch hug your wrist extremely well. Personally, I appreciate the bracelet. It appeals to me as it screams 90s and is a bit distinctive from every other brand out there. It gives the watch identity and, in time, heritage. I also think it looks good, but I wish Omega would make a tapered solution, as I feel the bracelet pushing into my underarm when I bend it. By the way, the newer bracelets do not fit. I tried. Thank you for hanging on this far. Appreciate likes, comments, and subscriptions. Thanks a lot, guys. So, how do I enjoy wearing it? Well, I enjoy it for many reasons. I feel the bracelet and the favours done by 007 makes it a bit dressy, although not for a suit, in my opinion, but it can still be dressed up. By the look of it, it wears true to its 41mm size. But the feeling is that it's smaller. It hugs the wrist in a marvellous fashion, even my skinny 16.5cm wrists. And with its thinness, it's able to slide under any cuff or sleeve. But time gives it a rugged look, which in my book makes it a great option for strap swapping. And last but not least, it is an actual Bond watch. You can call the Submariner a Bond watch or the newer Seamasters, and they are, but you'll be able to obtain this one without taking a consumer loan. As you can see, it's quite under the radar, blue compared to its modern brother. It's also a whole lot thinner. To finish off today's review, here is, as usual, this week's reviewers column, rated in classic IMDb fashion. 1. Bezel action, 6 out of 10. Being as old as mine, 2001, it obviously leaves a little something to be desired. But it still exceeded my expectations when I first got it. 2. Functionality, 9 out of 10. We have to remember, this is a dive watch. The dial is as clear as a clean ocean and super legible. It's also 300 meter water resistant and includes that helium escape valve if you ever were to pick up real diving. 3. Versatility, 8 out of 10. By my judgment, one of the more versatile divers out there. That also goes for the newer iterations, stunning watches. But as a personal preference, I don't dress up using divers' watches. It does, however, receive an extra few points for looking good on a lot of different strap options. 4. Design, 8 out of 10. As I said, I love the 90s vibe. I love that it has its own identity, but even though I appreciate the bracelet, I prefer bracelets that taper. It's also a tiny bit big for my wrists, purely subjective. 5. Feeling of quality, 8 out of 10. Being a 22-year-old watch, I really can't complain, and if Omega back then carried the equivalent standards of today's models, I should have given it a 10. But I can't do that on pure intuition, can I? Total, 7.8, the same score as one of my favourite Bond movies, Skyfall. The GMT Master 2 and the Pelagos 39 keep their lead. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Please leave a like, comment or subscription. Catch you in the next one, Watch Fam.